First of all, your name.
Phil Grant, and I'm the first assistant district attorney here in Montgomery County, Texas.
Phil, got a situation. Tell me what it is.
Well, on July 11th of 2014, local law enforcement, including the Precinct 4 Constable's Office and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, were made aware of several threats that were being made to get local young people here in the Montgomery County area through the social media website Facebook. Specific threats, including threats to kill people in the Splendora area, were made, and they began to investigate the case. Unfortunately, despite repeated requests from local law enforcement, Facebook has refused to provide any information that might lead us to determine who the individual is that's responsible for making these threats. So we feel it's important in today's day and age to take all these threats seriously and let the local people know in Splendora that we do have some threats out there targeting people in their area.
Something like that, a threat like this, what kind of charges can someone face on something like that?
Well, they could face terroristic threat charges, false report charges of the felony level based on that type of a threat.
What about, you've had this before, a couple of kids, what's status, whatever happened on that? They did file charges on those also?
We did file charges on those individuals.
Okay, what happened on those people?
We have charges pending against all the individuals.
Let's try one. You had several a while back, same type of thing, making threats. Didn't really take the threats idle. Tell me about that.
Well, whenever we get threats like this, and we have specifically had similar threats in the last couple years, we've taken immediate action, investigated those cases, and filed charges on the individuals responsible. You know, people out there need to realize that threats against young people and threats against schools and threats against local law enforcement that are made on social media websites aren't just funny, aren't just pranks. We're going to take them seriously, and we're going to pursue charges against individuals that make these kind of threats.
Law enforcement, what have they been doing in this so far?
Well, Precinct 4 and the Sheriff's Department have been doing everything that they can to track down this individual. Numerous statements have been taken from the kids that have been threatened, trying to see if there's any kind of common theme or person that's related that we can track down. Unfortunately, the easiest and quickest way for us to get to the bottom of this would be for Facebook to quit stonewalling us and give us the information we need to track down where these threats were made from so that we can identify the individual. It's easy, they've done it before. I don't know why they're stonewalling us in this particular case, but we've done everything through the channels that we can do to get Facebook to act in this circumstance. And if somebody gets hurt tomorrow, it's not going to be because the local law enforcement hasn't done what they're supposed to do. It's going to be because Facebook, unfortunately, doesn't seem to grasp the seriousness of these type of circumstances.
What if something would happen? Say if something would happen. Can anything be brought up against Facebook, against the people of Facebook or something like this?
Well, I don't want to speculate on whether or not Facebook would be responsible in a criminal way, but I think at this point they certainly would be responsible from a moral standpoint. You know, we've done everything we can to get them to cooperate, and they're just not cooperating in this circumstance.
Quite a few hours,
Absolutely. I mean, they've been working on it nonstop since they received the first complaint yesterday. Unfortunately, at this point, we've exhausted all the avenues that we can in the investigation. And once again, this is information Facebook could provide us instantaneously. And for some reason, they don't want to cooperate in this matter, despite specific threats to kill people in the Splendora area.
I mean, you get little kids making comments every now and then, a threat or something like this. This is taking a little more serious now.
Well, of course. I mean, most of these threats, unfortunately, are young kids who don't realize the seriousness of making these type of threats. They really don't intend to carry them out. They don't intend to hurt people. But, we can no longer take these kind of threats idly because of incidents we've had across the country where, unfortunately, they've been serious. So, this is a call to Facebook to cooperate with us. This is a plea to Facebook to provide this information to our law enforcement agencies so that we can track this down and determine whether or not it's a serious threat or not, or just some kid who's sitting at his computer at home who really doesn't understand the seriousness of these allegations.